The majority of economists surveyed by the World Economic Forum have said they expect the global economy to weaken this year, saying that geopolitical fragmentation around the world will deepen.
세계경제포럼의 설문조사에 참여한 경제학자 대다수는 세계 곳곳의 지정학적 분열이 심화될 거라고 진단하면서 올해 세계 경제가 약세를 보일 거라는 전망을 내놨습니다. Tell us more, Paul.
Yes, so the World Economic Forum is going on this week. We already talked about it when I was here on Tuesday. And they've released this survey of 30 chief economists. And they surveyed them last year between November and December. They found that 56% of those questioned expect that the global economy is going to weaken in 2024. 20% think it'll remain unchanged, and 23% are a little more optimistic, forecasting somewhat stronger economic conditions. However, we shall have to see. Respondents were broadly positive when it came to South Asia, East Asia and Pacific, which is good news for Korea.
For us, yeah.
However, there was a more cautious tone when it came to China. They're only expecting moderate economic growth there. And the big issue is to do with the political rifts around the world. They're expecting the pace of geopolitical fragmentation to accelerate in 2024. 69% of these economists think that's going to happen. The thing is, this year is a big election year. Here in Korea, April is a big election year for us. It's not the presidential elections, but it's an important election. The UK is going to have a general election. The US is going to have their presidential election. In fact, there are over 75 countries heading to the polls this year. So we shall see what that does to us, but certainly it could be, I don't know, worth looking out for what's going to happen in terms of the economy in 2024.
지금 1월 달이다 보니까 이제 올해에 대한 여러 가지 전망들이 나오고 있어요. 지금 이 다보스포럼, 세계경제포럼에서 경제학자들이 설문조사에 참여를 했습니다. 그중에 반 이상인 56%가 앞으로 세계 경제가 더욱 약세로 갈 것이다 라고 대답을 했다 그러고요. 그 다음에는 이제 여러 가지 지정학적인 갈등들이 굉장히 많은데 69%의 경제학자들은 이런 분열이 더욱더 올해는 심화될 것이다 라고 내다봤다고 하네요. 자, some bleak forecasts there, as we can see.
Yes, but relatively positive for us in East Asia.
지역별로 보면은 사실 이제 동아시아, 그다음에 남아시아, South Asia, East Asia, 그리고 Pacific, 태평양 지역은 그나마 그래도 좀 괜찮을 거다라고 했는데 우리 이제 Northeast Asia 해당이 되니까
네.
저희한테는 그래도 좀 희망적일 수 있지만 전 세계적으로 봤을 때는 약세로 갈 것이다. 자, 반 이상의 경제학자들이 이런 얘기를 했어요. That's the first expression, a majority.
Yes, the majority of something means most of whatever it is. So let's say the majority of people or the majority of economists. We're talking over 50%, meaning more than the other half or the other side of the group. So we talk about a minority and a majority. A majority is going to be the largest group. The minority is going to be the smaller group, the one that is smaller than the majority.
네. majority는 과반이라는 뜻이 있어서요. a majority 아니면 the majority
네.
of 뭐뭐뭐라고 하면은 무언가의 반 이상. 좀 더 자연스럽게 해석을 한다면 대다수라고 할 수도 있어요. 물론 때에 따라서는 이게 51%여도 majority이긴 하니까 그때 컨텍스트에 맞게 해석하면 되겠지만
Yes,
네.
and you can use more casual language if you want.
Yeah.
If you want, instead of saying the majority of economists, you can say most economists surveyed.
sure.
That's a very conversational way of saying the same thing.
그렇죠. Most라는 단어로 대체를 해서 most economists surveyed by the World Economic Forum 이렇게 갈 수도 있습니다. 자, 그 다음에는 geopolitical fragmentation. These are big words here.
Two very long words,
Yes.
yes. Let's deal with the hardest one first. Let's deal with geopolitical. Geo means of the world when we use it as a prefix.
Yep.
And political is about politics. So it's world politics, international politics, political relations between countries, whether that be Korea and the US or France and the UK or Russia and Ukraine, for example. And fragmentation. Well, a fragment is a small part of something. So fragmentation is the splitting apart of something. So, for example, if you drop your cup or your plate on the floor, you'll be witness to fragmentation as the little bits and pieces fly this way and that way.
네.
So we're talking about here relationships breaking up
Yeah.
and not being as strong as they were before.
That's right. fragmentation이 분열입니다. 이렇게 하나하나 작게 쪼개지는 것을 fragmenting이라고 얘기하는데요. fragmentation 앞에 나온 단어는 geopolitical. geo가 들어간 과목들, 우리 학교 다닐 때 지리는 geography, 지학은 geology. 그런데 여기서 geo가 들어갔으니까 그런 이제 그 땅과 관련된 것이죠. 그 다음에는 이제 political은 정치적이다라는 단어잖아요. 그 두 개가 합쳐지면 이제 지정학적이다가 되는 겁니다. 그래서 그런 지정학적인 분열이 더욱 심화될 것으로 또 예상이 되네요. 아이고. 자, 다시 한번 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. The majority of economists surveyed by the World Economic Forum have said they expect the global economy to weaken this year, saying that geopolitical fragmentation around the world will deepen. And let's move on to the second headline.